ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome back. You already know what it is. It's the Too Good For You podcast. Podcast that's too good, made just right for you. You may be thinking, dang, something feels different this time. 1, we're playing musical chairs. 2, we got Small Iced Coffee in the building.
What's good, y'all?
How's it going, man? Thanks for joining us.
Of course, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. We're here to talk. We're here to hang out. Do the whole shebang.
Shoot the shit, yeah.
That we normally do on the podcast. But yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and jump right into this good old classic interview.
Let's get to it.
So let's just do a quick rundown. Give us a little. Who's who are you, what do you do, all the classics.
Got you. Okay, my name is Adrian. I go by Small Iced Coffee. I'm a photographer. I take photos. I shoot film photos of adult actresses and of people and musicians and artists. I just vibe, take photos and hang with the homies. It's a great time.
That's a slogan right there. That's a tagline.
That's it.
Make that into a hat. Make that into a shirt.
That is all you need, man. But hell yeah, that's dope. What got you into doing photography?
I got a camera like 10 years ago. Okay, I'm 25 now. I got a camera like 12 years ago when I was 13. My brother's a tattoo artist, and I would hang out at tattoo shops, and he had a camera laying around, and I would just walk around the tattoo shop taking photos of people. And it was kind of annoying having a 13-year-old running around, obviously. But he let me do it. Everybody at the tattoo shop let me do it, and it was a great time. And since then, that was when I was visiting. I went back to Texas, made my mom buy me a camera, and then eventually I bought myself a camera, a professional camera. And yeah, since then I've been taking photos of people, kind of just at tattoo shops, and now I've scaled it to musicians and artists and just cool people.
Mm-hmm.
The vibes.
Well, how was what were you going for originally? I know most of us, or everyone here in this room, has picked up a camera before and has attempted to do photography.
Yes.
Obviously, you do that. But
I'm a wannabe photographer.
Have dipped our toes into doing photography. And I can always remember, you get your first camera and you're like, I got to do everything, right? I want to be just like this photographer or this guy on Instagram or whatever. So, when you first picked up that camera in the tattoo shop, what was the kind of vibe or what was the scenery that you were trying to capture? I mean, that's a young age, so, what was kind of the thought process for then?
Honestly, at that point, I was just taking photos. There was no real rhyme or reason to any of them. Most of my early photos were just horrendous, really bad.
You're 13, dude.
And at 13,
picked up a camera.
At 13 to 15, that's normal. You're not going to take amazing photos. But by the time I got to 16, I was like, okay, this is, at that point, I had already moved here. Mm-hmm. And I had my first starter professional camera. And at that point, it was urban exploration was really big.
Oh, it's always.
So everybody.
That's how I started actually.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember going to different things here in LA where people would I forgot they were called, but they were just street takeovers of just photographers.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And it was just photographers running around with models, and they were doing the smoke grenades, the fire circle, whatever.
Yep.
And I was just really into that when I was 16, and I was shooting a ton of that.
That's a good stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
That was my early Instagram was all of that, and then one day I was like, this is cool, but I kind of want to do something else. And then my friend was like, oh, I have a portrait shoot. I'm trying to shoot more portraits. And I was like, oh, let me just come with you.
Yeah.
And I watched them do portraits one time. And I was like, oh, this is really fun. You just take photos of your friends.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I watched her do it. And then I started doing it. And from there, I just started taking photos of people. Because that's kind of what I wanted to do at the tattoo shop, was just take photos of people that were interesting.
Yeah.
And now I do that all the time.
That's cool. I have to ask, what's your starter camera?
So I started with the Canon Rebel T5i.
What is this? Oh my god!
I started with the Canon Rebel T5i, and then my first film camera was a Minolta X370 with a f1.7 lens. I picked that thing up for $5.
Wow! What?
And this was wait, what was that?
Yard sale?
No, this was at a what was it? It was a swap meet. And this dude had, and this was before film photography got cool again. Mm-hmm. I was a senior in high school, so it was 2016, 2015. So I was a senior in high school, and I like went to the swap meet with my sister, and this guy was selling film cameras. He had a bunch of them, and none of them, like at the time, film wasn't really as cool as it is now. So he was like, yeah, $5. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll take it. No idea how to work it, but I was just like, I'll take it. Like $5 is $5. Like I have that.
Yeah,
take it. So I bought 2 cameras, and that was the one that worked.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
I mean, a come up. That's a come up, dude. Like, you can't complain on that.
No, yeah, I can't at all.
Looking at it now, you're like, you can't find that shit anywhere. But like you said, at the time, they're probably like, that's what it was worth at that point. I mean, there's, obviously, photography has gone. With the introduction of Instagram, photography has taken a lot of different avenues, and just seeing like the trends or like what people are doing. Like you said, like there's some big street takeovers when it was trying to get on the rooftops in LA. And
I did that too.
Yeah,
I did a lot of that.
Trying they saw all these things, and then then the film reemergence again, and seeing how that's been kind of going. But yeah, that's always fun. You still have your Rebel?
No, well, okay, funny story. So, side note, I started with the Rebel T5i because my sister had a Rebel T5i, but I took it over. Like, I took it from her, and then pretty much used it the whole time until I got a Sony A7 II. And then I gave it back to her. I was like, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
Well, here you go.
Yeah, you can take it. Take that.
But yeah, that's
like, I'm different now.
So now she has it, but that was a starter camera. That's how I learned how to shoot manual, and like didn't have the adjustment already on the screen. Like I was like, hope this looks good. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Do you still have your first camera?
I do, actually. Nice. I literally today I picked it up for the first time yesterday because my friend was going to New York and he needed to borrow a camera. He was like, "Do you have one I can borrow?" And I just pulled out the T5i.
It's so easy. It's so easy to work with.
I still have it. It sits on my shelf. It's really funny now because like that was my first camera that I bought. It was my baby when I got it. But now I have like a shelf of camera gear, like 2 shelves. So it's like that little guy that like at the time when I paid like $800 for it, it was the most expensive thing I had ever purchased. Yeah. And now it's sitting next to like a Leica and a Hasselblad. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like we're doing something right.
How it's grown.
Yeah.
The collection.
No, for real. That's awesome. So jumping forward from then to now, are you solely film, or do you still do film and digital?
I do both. I like doing both, mostly just because like when I work with a client, I don't want to not have photos to deliver. And with film, no matter how long you've been shooting, something can possibly go wrong every time. Yep. So I tend to do both, and for the most part, I trust myself enough to know like my film's gonna come out solid. But I just want, like, if anything does go wrong, I can still deliver like 25 digital photos.
Yeah.
All bases covered there.
Yeah. No, I try to, but like I like to keep it also just because like I like to do video, I like to do other stuff, and I have a Fuji, so it shoots very similar to a film camera because you can like kind of mess with those.
My Fuji.
You can like toss those presets in, and people make like Portra 400 presets, so I've been doing that a lot. And it's a little vibe. And I like to mix that with like film, Polaroids, Super 8. Yeah. And by the end of it, like you've ended up with like this entire production of like photo, video, physical Polaroids that they can take home with them. And it becomes a bigger experience than just like, all right, well, hopefully these photos come out. I'll see you later.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's a good thought. Like it's a good process that you have.
Yeah, especially because with film, like you can't see it. No, like I trust myself to shoot it, and you trust me because you hired me to do it. But at the end of the day, you just have to trust me with your money and time and all these other factors. Like you spent the money it took to pay me, the money it took for the studio, and now you're coming up and showing. I'm like, I think these photos will turn out. I'll see you. You'll see them in like a week.
Yeah.
So like if they see, it's because the thing with like shooting, especially like when you're in studio, it becomes almost like a performance. Like if they see like if you show up with like one little camera, they're like, is he gonna do the job I want?
Yeah.
But like if they see, oh, okay, he has 3 cameras and he has a Polaroid, and at the end of it, I'd like to give him like a couple of the Polaroids we shot, and I'm like, oh, hey, here's a couple of these, just so you know what we shot, and at least you can have them. I'm gonna scan in the rest for you, and then from there, like it becomes it's a little more trusting at the end of it, and more of like a working relationship versus like, hey, hopefully these come out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's solid, dude. Like, I want a Polaroid on my street. That's my little keepsake taking home. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
it's a little vibe.
Yeah, especially with doing portrait work, personal photography wise. Most of my work when I was shooting a lot was mostly like landscape, architecture, still life. So nothing that really needed direction, or I didn't have to have someone waiting on me to deliver a product. Like, it was something that I just did and did it. And but again, I also kind of like wanted to try to get into portrait photography. I just didn't know how, especially with film. Like, I wasn't really comfortable doing it in the first place. So I reached out to another photographer, a professional photographer who shoots portraits on film and stuff like that. And he was based in New York, but he was out in LA. So like I met up with him, and I did like a full day with him, like doing like 3 shoots, and just seeing his setup as well, right? Like, he had, his Mamiya, and he had his contacts, and then he had a digital camera as well, and then a Polaroid as well. So he was, seeing like having all just these different mediums that all kind of do the same thing, but like all of them are gonna give like different results. And
Absolutely.
You can see like the model you're working with, ever being like, okay, like we're gonna shoot this one on Polaroid, but this is gonna be a little bit different, and then it comes out, let it develop, and then you can you said you show them right then and there, and it's something that they can have, right? They would always like sign it, and they can so it's just a different personal taste. So I think it's pretty sick coming in with like a bunch of different gear, because people are gonna be like, oh, like this guy means business.
Yeah.
You walk in with one camera,
And it's
like,
just a fun
that's cool.
time. It's just a fun time to shoot a bunch of different cameras.
Definitely.
They're all different.
What is what's your favorite camera that you have right now?
Man, okay, so
Let's just go through all the cameras that you have.
okay, so right now I shoot on a super it's a Minolta X570 Super 8 or something like that.
Okay.
It's a Super 8 that I bought for $30 on Goodwill.com.
Nice. Plug.
Shout out
Goodwill.
Plug.
Listen, $30 for a Super 8. It's fire.
I didn't. I was like going to stores, man. I thought that's all they had.
They have an online one where you can bid for things.
Really?
It's like an eBay.
And it's like an eBay, but it's like but it's via Goodwill. So which is why the in-store experience now is kind of trash. I have that.
Oh, wow.
I have a Leica M5. Ooh. I have a Fuji X-T3. What else do I got? I got a Hasselblad.
Ooh.
A Hasselblad something. I don't even know what it is.
Fuck.
Medium format guy. It's like a medium format 6x6.
That shit's crazy.
I got a little Olympus stylus that I love to carry around, my little point and shoot.
The OG.
I think those are like my primary cameras that No. I also have a Olympus OM10 and a Pentax something. And out of all these cameras, I only have one medium format camera at the moment.
Okay.
I used to have 2, now I only have 1.
Mm-hmm.
And out of all these cameras, I've spent thousands of dollars on gear. My favorite camera is my my Olympus OM10 that I got for $50.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I have owned multiple cameras throughout like just years of shooting. That's the one I pick up the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really interesting like thing, especially like with people on the internet being like, oh yeah, gear matters. You gotta like have the best gear. And I'm like, listen guys, I understand. That's cool now. I have a Leica.
Yeah, I know what gear is.
And I have the Hasselblad. I have them. I love these cameras.
Yeah.
Some of the best work I've made has come on this little $50 camera that doesn't even have a light meter in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh.
it's not a great camera, but I've made some of my favorite photos on it. Like that, I was like, cool. I could have made this on a Leica, but like, I don't need it.
Yeah. That's funny. That's actually was my first film camera. It was the Olympus OM10. I still have it too, but it's just that's
digital.
that's such a fun camera. That's one of those cameras that just feels really good to have.
Yeah.
It's heavy, but it's also like not heavy. Like it's light enough where you can like carry it around all day and not feel it. But like when you're holding it in your hand, like this is a sturdy piece of fucking camera.
No, yeah, it's like it's definitely there. It's not gonna shake at all. Like it's and then I have like it's like an f4 28 to 75 lens on it, and that thing is heavy.
Yeah, those lenses were
like it's just mad brolic for no reason. So I like it. Like it's my favorite camera. So yeah, I think like out of everything that I own, all the cameras camera gear I own, that's my favorite one at the moment.
Nice. Yeah. Well, do you have any? I mean, shit, you pretty much named like some of like the top
8 or 9, dude.
like some of the top cameras out there. At this point, do you have any like grails that you're still searching for, or is there like any camera that you're like one day you're like I'll get there and get this?
I could be annoying and say a Leica M6, but I don't think it's necessary. Like I could be like, oh yeah, I want a Leica M6. I have a Leica M5.
Just why not?
They're the same thing. It's a rangefinder camera. Like you're gonna spend $3,000 to like use the same camera. And Leica enthusiasts are not gonna be like, no, they're very different. Shut up.
Of course. Like, of course.
Like, go talk to women. Go do something like that. Like,
touch grass.
Go outside. Be a real person, because we all know Leica M456. They're the same camera. Like, sure, they might have slight differences. Who cares? Take the photo. Can you take the photo? That's what matters to me. Like,
that's it. Yeah. End result, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
sure, we're all gonna nitpick our process and nitpick the next person's process. But really, if my client's happy with the photo, it doesn't matter what camera it was shot on.
That's right. I mean, yeah, I think you already kind of said it too. But though, when you were saying that, it's like, how some people be like, oh, like gear matters, but like really, that's really not always true. Like, obviously, like our mutual friend, like, Big Adam, like, right? Like
Big Adam.
Like his big thing is like, bro, like I'll just go get this Barbie fucking point and shoot camera and still make dope photos. Like,
okay, Adam,
it doesn't matter.
Adam, if you're hearing this, please get a better camera though. I will. I love you. Photoshop is okay, but you're killing it, my boy. I love you.
That's the clip right there. Yeah. He's calling out Adam.
But it is though, because I mean, like you said, like as long as you can make something good out of whatever medium it is, like who gives a shit? Like,
no, it is. It really does not matter.
Making process is, but
I mean, I guess if you're doing real commercial work, that's when you're gonna notice differences.
Yeah, that's like the thing. Like if you're shooting like a photo for a billboard that needs to get blown up and you decide to shoot it on film, then yeah. Like,
okay, but even then, anything blown up on a billboard, like if you stare at a billboard, all these things are taken into Illustrator and then like color pixelated so that way.
Yeah.
So like they're all pixelated. Everything's pixelated. It doesn't really matter. But like the only time you're really gonna notice is like you are gonna notice as a photographer when you're going, I need a little bit more light here, but I don't have the lens for it. That was the only time you're really gonna notice those things. But if you can work around it enough to go, okay, cool, I might get a better lighting system. Like it's all these other things that matter way more than like cameras themselves.
Yeah.
Spending money on like a light is probably way more worth it than spending money on a lens.
For real.
Is that how you decide what you need, like for gear or like what camera you're gonna get? Like you're like just shooting, and then one day you're like, man, I wish I had this. Or like
yeah, absolutely. It's just trial and error, just trying stuff. Like there's days where I like, especially right now where I'm working in studios a lot, and I'm like, damn, maybe I do need a better lighting kit because I noticed I rent studios specifically for their lighting kit, and I'm like, okay, cool. Well, if I'm renting this studio out to use their lighting kit, this is $200 for this. If I just spent $400 more, I can get my own and be done and use it whenever I want versus like having to just use it here.
Yeah.
Because it's fine. Just spend the money.
You heard it here first.
It'll come back to you. Maybe not in this economy, but like, but do it anyway because it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. So what is kind of like your creative process when it comes to shooting? Are you the one who will reach out to someone you think looks cool and be like, hey, like, I really like this, I have this idea? Do you like storyboard it? Do you write it out? Like what's kind of like the initial process from start to finish, from coming up with an idea to, producing photos?
Yeah. No, for sure. I think luckily I'm like blessed enough to like not have to reach out to people as often, and sometimes the people that I want to work with just reach out to me over time.
Beautiful.
So like it's been cool that way, just like the like organic growth that's occurred on like social media, that like the people that I want to work with have now just like reached out, or I'll run into them on set type of thing. Like I'm gonna come back to your question, but like even just like circle back to like this whole like I'm just like taking photos, making the work I want to make, and then the work attracts them. I remember it was like 2 years ago I shot on a Taiga set, and
I
You
need
raw.
that story.
And I was on a Tyga set, and there was a model there that I had DM'd in 2017.
Oh.
Never saw my DM,
Yeah.
but it was 2020, and I was taking their photo. So it's like, so that's what just happened, like that organic growth of just like making the photos that I want to make, making the work with people that had the access to, and then just posting them on the internet, and eventually, because of that, meeting people that put me into spots to like shoot the people that I wanted to shoot versus me even having to reach out to them again.
I think that's a huge thing in like making like people that you want to work with you. You know, like you're building relationships with these people that know these people. You're just networking from there, and then
No, it's super interesting, especially like when I meet photographers that are like, yeah, if I just worked with this one model, I could make such better work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't you just make that work that you would make with them with the people you have access to right now? And then eventually you might get there. You might work with the model you want to work with. Like my early stuff was just with friends. Like, luckily I knew friends that were models that were like starting their modeling career and now have like great flourishing modeling careers. But at the time, like, we were all just starting off. We were all just like, cool, we want to try this out. We haven't done a shoot like this. Okay, let's make it happen. Like, a lot of my shoots were done in like a room no bigger than this kitchen. And those were like, I did that for like a year, and some of my best photos, I still reference some of those photos in like galleries and stuff that I have up. Some of those photos still make it into those galleries.
Nice.
Versus like we're here like 3 years later, like where I'm now buying, now I could afford expensive gear, now I could afford film, but I'm still going and referencing those photos that I made in 2019, 2018, 2017 without those like early gear. So yeah, back to the conversation of like gear doesn't matter, just make the photos.
Yeah.
But fuck, I forgot what you asked.
Just the process.
Hey,
I mean,
spinning wisdom, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
the process.
The process that you don't have to like reach out to people.
Just make the photos, shoot the photos, mood board it. Maybe reach out to people. I usually don't. They come out to me, and then I just like toss ideas out, and I'm like, they're like, if you want to shoot anything, and I'm like, here's mood boards that I made already. I already have like 4 or 5 prepared. Because like sometimes for me the model comes last. I already know like what studio I want to shoot in. Or I already know where I want to shoot, what time of day. All of that's already been done. All the hard work, like all the mental preparation's done.
Good.
All it is just going into the photo shoot and making the photos.
That's the fun part, though.
Yeah,
that's
it's the great part. Like that's where I get to flourish because I already did all the hard work.
Yeah. Now you're just got the party.
It's like referencing to like sports, how people are like, practice is the hard work, competition's the fun part. Like this is the competition. I just get to show up, show out, take photos, hang out, drink coffee, make you feel good, I feel good. I gotta go home afterward, and that's it. But like, because I sat at home and did like 2-3 hours of work, it's not a big deal. Just make the photos.
It comes out at the end.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like they're happy, I'm happy. It's cool.
I like that.
Nice. That's good.
I like the mentality you have, man. Thanks. I like it, man.
Yes, sir. All right. I should have asked this in the beginning when we did the who are you and all this other stuff, but we got to know the origin behind the name. So your name obviously is Small Iced Coffee. Got coffee in the studio. What's the origin and the reasoning for it?
Okay, so on Instagram, I had my Instagram if some people have been following me on Instagram since I was walking Paradox on Instagram, and that was my first Instagram and I was like, this was like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, probably like 4 years, and I was like, I don't really connect with this at all anymore. It's not really who I am, and I want to switch it up, and I like for like 6 months kind of like changed my name on Instagram like every month. Trying to just test stuff out, and I couldn't figure out anything that I really resonated with that like felt like it could be a brand, because at this point, like, I'm not trying to build myself up, I'm trying to build myself up. I'm trying to build myself up, but I want to build myself as a brand because it's just easier for me to communicate that way. Because I don't know, it's like there's something about building myself up as a brand that isn't like as genuine for me. It's just easier for me to communicate. It might be my insecurities, no idea, but so I just trying to build a brand, and I'm sitting at a coffee shop, and I worked at a company for a while, and we had a famous musician that was one of our clients, and he had an email address, something along the lines of a short stack of pancakes or something like that, and I was like, oh, that's a cool email address, but I didn't think anything of it at the time, and I was like, all right, whatever. And the next morning I'm sitting at a coffee shop again trying to switch my and I'm like, what can I do that is like interesting, cool, easy to say? And I was like, large like large iced coffee, or it was like I had a cold brew. I was like large cold brew, and I was like, that sounds weird. And then I was like large iced coffee. It was taken on Instagram. I was like, okay. But they had no followers. So I was like, all right, cool. But it's already taken. It's fine. And I was like small, and I was like small flat white, which is just in the coffee drink, and I was like, that sounds weird. And then I looked up small iced coffee, and no one had taken it, and I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Nice.
This is the perfect name, small iced coffee. It rolls off the tongue, and yeah, I've had that since like for the last like 4 years now. Small iced coffee has just been like my thing, I guess, and it's became really cool once people didn't even know my name, and they were just like, oh, hey, small iced coffee, like that's who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great, this is, or like people will be like, oh, what's your email address, because it's the same thing, and they're like, oh, small iced coffee, and they're like, that's easy to remember. I'm like, perfect, that's all I need. It's like easy to remember with small iced coffee, one word. If you look it up, everything that I've done ever will come up, because all my credits, like even publications, are just small iced coffee.
Nice.
I like the name, dude. It's so easy. It is easy. It does roll off the tongue. Like,
Yeah, I do like the.
Worked.
I'd be like, who's that guy? Small iced coffee. There it is. Yeah, that's
I say small. Every time people walk up to me and they're like, they're like, oh, what's your Instagram? I'm like, small iced coffee, like you're ordering at a coffee shop. And then I just keep it pushing, because at the time I don't need to repeat it, because I know they're gonna get it. Like, so it just worked out. It was really cool how it just like, now it's just like, it's a thing. I have a logo that I designed. I eventually want to run into like making lifestyle t-shirts and clothing out of it, because I'm into fashion, and running like Sunday coffee type vibe. But
nice.
who knows?
I like that. That'd be cool. Have your own coffee shop with all your work just like there.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be really cool, especially because I just like coffee. I have friends that do like coffee related things, and I'm like, it could be a venture to get into when I have a little bit, when I like kind of develop out of photography or whatever it may be in life. But for now, we're just pushing along, trying to make cool shit.
Yeah. What I just kind of mentioned it, and I also had a question about it. But what publications have you got so far?
Man, okay, so this is a fun one. 2017. I was LA Weekly for the tattoo. It was like, I don't even think the photos are available anymore, because they pulled them down, which is really annoying. I tried to look for it last time. I worked at a tattoo shop growing up, I mentioned earlier, and the tattoo artist needed a photo for publication he was going to be in. Oh, okay. And I was like, cool. So I took his photo. That was my first publication. 2 months later, I was interning for Carl Kanai, which is a fashion designer.
Okay, yeah, I was like, oh, you could have.
Carl Kanai is a fashion designer, and I took a couple photos for him that ended up on a couple websites, and I was like, that was really cool at the time too, because I was just in college. Like, I had no real idea what I was doing, and I was just trying to make work. And to see like my photos popped up on like different publications was really fun. But the most recent is I got 2 print ones, I believe, for Hustler.
Nice.
So
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Thank you. I did a shoot with a model named Say a Song, and she tossed photos into Hustler. You're gonna wait for that to pass by so we can cut that. And then so I shot with this model named Say a Song, and she tossed my photos to Hustler, and yeah, they just reached out to me and they were like, hey, we want to publish these. And I was like, cool, do your thing.
Nice.
So yeah, awesome. I'm going for Playboy next.
That's a portfolio, dude. There it is. Shoot.
Yeah, it's been cool. Just like I work with small brands. My favorite part is like I have like at least a dozen like Spotify credits for like smaller artists. So it's, and some that are like a little bigger, but like when you go on like on YouTube and see like 500,000 views, and then you see your photo, or you're like my homie Max Bennett Kelly, he makes music, and before his release, I took photos of him, and then the song went really popular. So anytime he went to his like Spotify account, my photo was there. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, you know, we're doing a little something here and there, getting a little sprinkle of like drop-ins here and there, interviews. I've done a couple of them now. It's been a vibe.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, thanks for coming on this.
Absolutely.
Like I tell every other guest, when you guys come on and Netflix comes to get some documentary footage, we got it, and we're gonna make them pay for it. But you know, like,
as you should.
Yeah, most def. But that's dope, man. Who are some of like your favorite artists? And this doesn't have to be in terms of like photographers. It could just be like whatever, you know, inspires you. Like what kind of gets the creative? Who do you look at to get like the creative juices flowing?
That's a great question. I feel like I don't even look at photographers.
Perfect.
I don't really like. I like to, for the most part, I want to take photos how music makes me feel.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So like, there's certain times when I'm shooting that I was listening to like an album, and I was like, this would be like this song reminds me of a photo like this, and then I'll go find something similar to that, like whether it be a painting or whatever it is, like some artwork, and I put it into a mood board and find other stuff like that. A lot of it I feel like is referencing, especially in like my work with a lot of like sensual femininity and all those things. I reference like The Divine Feminine by Mac Miller a lot.
Classic.
Great album. When I want to be a little louder and I want to feel like show out a little bit, I listen to like Alchemist, Action Bronson, Mayhem Loren, like artists like that, where I want to like feel a little more. I want the photos to reflect what we're listening to in the studio.
That's the first time I've ever heard that. That's dope. That's dope as shit.
So like, yeah, like a lot of like my Valentine's Day shoots, we were listening to like SZA on repeat, just like playing like a bunch of like SZA's like love songs, because it's like that's what we want to reflect. We want to reflect love and like those types of feelings, because like ultimately I think music's like the most connected medium that we can all connect to as people.
Yeah.
You don't even have to speak English to like an artist. So if I could like pull some of those feelings into my photo work, that's what I try to do the most.
I like that, man.
Yeah, it's like we're not chasing a look, we're just chasing a feeling. Like, and not just evoking that feeling.
I'm trying to get a feeling.
I think you inspire. You're inspiring me, man, a little too much today, bro.
I'm gonna listen back to this podcast and be like, "He's fucking right. He's fucking right." You know what? Yeah.
I don't know. I really enjoy the process of like being in a studio and like knowing that like, okay, this person is also feeling this music, and we're here for the message of like, we're trying to get their photos off. I'm here for them. And like walking away from that being like, yo, that was like therapeutic. And I'm like, oh great, because that's what I wanted for you.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted the person, I want you to walk away from this photo shoot with the photos, but also being like, damn, that was a really good time.
Gotcha.
Like, I felt great. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here for you. This entire like team of people that I have with like that pull up to shoot sometimes are here for this one person. Like, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Nice.
So making it feel like, yeah, this is the thing, and we're gonna show up. We're gonna make vibes happen, and yeah. So that's how I think for the most part, when it comes down to playing music and like you can catch them kind of singing along in between photos,
Makes it easier for them.
it makes it It's like just it creates this like comfort. That's like all I'm chasing in photos is comfort.
If music was playing, if I was getting a photo shoot and I'm vibing, oh yeah, dude, I'm acing that photo shoot.
What do you want it to have playing
Ah, shit.
in your perfect photo shoot?
Come back to me on that. I'll think about it in my head, but come back to me on that.
All right, I'll come back to that. So you also you also mentioned it a little bit, how you kind of also do videos and stuff as well. So when it comes to, you like to do, I don't even know what you would call it. Would you say like they're like mini vlogs or whatever? Like when you go like just do like a day, like of the shoots and stuff like that. So like, how is that kind of process similar to like just your normal like shoots where you're like, I guess I should just make a video or document the day and kind of go through that.
I think like it all comes very natural at this point.
Okay.
I think for a while it was really weird to like record stuff while I'm doing it, but like most of my like favorite videos that I've shot have just become from like me setting the phone up somewhere and just recording.
Yeah.
And kind of just forgetting about it for like 5 minutes. Because like you can delete stuff later, like it's fine.
Yeah.
So it's just record what you want. It's a fun time. So no, it's never like I guess I'm gonna do this. It's like, all right, cool. I see this really cool frame. I'm just gonna record this while the model's changing. Or like, oh hey, you're putting your shoes on. Can I just record it really quickly because it looks cool? So it's always just like it's like all about like romanticizing those small moments in between a photo.
Yeah.
Because like you want to do that.
Yeah.
Like no one thinks about like the moments of them like, all right, cool. I'm about to get my photo taken. Let me make sure I'm good. Let me go look in the mirror. Let me go do this. Let me fix my hair. So I just like document those moments from us, like just to have them. And then when I send all the photos to the model, I'll drop like videos I shot of them in the folder so they can have them too. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, cool. I am a content creator. Let me cut reels from this.
Yep.
That's cool. Gives it like a behind the scenes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of it.
Also blessed to have like homies that will pull up the shoots and just like send mad videos of like me shooting. And that's always a great time because I love having friends come with me to shoot sometimes, especially like if they're the homies and they're like, oh hey, because a lot of my friends are also photographers or models or creatives. So when they're around and they want to come by, I'm like, yeah, come by, and they'll pop in, help the model like dress something real quick, and like the shoot becomes that much better because now there's another creative mind involved, and they'll record stuff and here and there take photos. It's a great time.
Nice. How do you feel about like I guess from like going from like Instagram, right, being photos to, you know, the huge rise in popularity of like TikTok and obviously now Instagram and Reels too, to like, do you feel like you also need, I know how you were saying like you do it just to like capture those moments, but like do you feel like you also like need to also do these videos to like help instead of just being a photographer, because now a lot of things are just coming in as short form videos instead of just being like, yeah, I'm a photographer, here's my photos, but like I also can make a aesthetically pleasing TikTok and people are like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, all of those things come out of necessity. Growth comes out of necessity. You're not going to do things always because you want to, but because you have to. And obviously the internet dictates how a lot of us tend to make our money. So with that comes growth and change and having to adjust to times. TikTok popped in like 2019, 2020. And I was around people that were doing like Musically. So, and they just trying to transition to TikTok. And that was really normal. But like, I kind of hated TikTok for the longest time. I was like, I don't really feel like doing this. But I was already shooting videos. I was like already recording stuff here and there, just not really enough. And I was like, cool. I kind of fought it for a second. And I was like, but also like in order to do anything, you have to grow. Yeah. And video, if the internet says, okay, you have to post a video here and there, sure, why not? Eventually, now I love it. Like I love just like recording my life, recording what I'm doing, recording whatever. Like people, it's so funny how like even like my most popular videos on TikTok were like photos, just videos of me picking up film, videos of like me and my ex-girlfriend, videos of just like me hanging out doing dumb shit on the internet, and that's all it was. Yeah. So it's like, sure, just make a video. And it all flows from necessity, but like just get used to it, because like we're in an ever-changing world of social media, so either get with it or get left behind. Choose one. That's true. And if you could fall in love with the process, cool. And if you're gonna fight it, you're not gonna be in it long. Yep.
You heard that, Tyson?
Yes, I know. I know. I'm working on it.
Just you gotta love the process. You gotta love the process more than you like the end result. Because like I live in the process. I live in the process. I'm always in the process of somebody's stuff. Because like I do marketing full time. I do photos. I do video. So I'm always in processes. Yeah. And like the ending goal is like me going, cool, client, you like this? Amazing. Cool. Next client. You like this? Amazing. Cool. So my life is just making sure people's processes are getting done. So so if you're not used to being in the process, you're going to hate it. Yeah. If you're only looking forward to the end of it when you go, hey, this is done now, you're going to be bummed.
Yeah, you got to love every step of the journey.
Yeah, you're going to edit video at 1, 2, 3 in the morning some days. You're going to be recording footage that you might not love, but you're going to work with. You're going to... And then there's days where you're just everything's gonna fall into place perfectly, and you're gonna love everything you're doing, but you still gotta like love it when it's harder.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't see that. Like they just see that end product that you're talking about. You know, like they don't see all the work that goes in behind the scenes, or like everything that you're doing to make sure that this end product is what you want it to be and what your client wants it to be.
Oh no, absolutely.
So that's. You hear that shit? People, don't fucking fuck up the process.
Yeah,
no, it's definitely important.
Yeah, and I think that's where I think I lie in that camp of where like I see a finished product and I'm like, cool, I got to do that. And then I sit there and I look at what I need to do and I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna get there? Like I'm not like I'm not there to where I'm like, all right, like it's time to, you know, figure out the process, and like I don't have the love of like getting it done. Like in my head it's just I gotta get an end product out the way. So like I'm lost in that sense, and that's why he's making fun of me that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, because I don't have the I just don't I'm not there yet. But yes, what you were saying is very important. And I just I'm gonna take that into consideration.
It's a process for sure. And also, like, what you're seeing at the end of it is someone's polished, done video. They're done. They've finished it. Who knows how long it took them? No one knows unless you're also in the process.
Yeah.
So people, especially like people that don't do creative work, they're like, "Oh, it's so easy to make it." And I'm like, "Cool, go ahead, try it. I would love to see what you're gonna do, whether it's good or bad, because that's your form of expression, how you're gonna do it." But like, none of it. Creative work in general is all subjective. We know we can judge each other's work all day long, but at the end of the day, as long as you're trying your best to make the work that you're gonna make, it's good work.
This man is speaking truth, bro. This man is speaking truth, wisdom, knowledge, everything. All right. Well, I want to go back to your processes and like working with clients and all that stuff. So I know you said that a lot of people reach out to you. That's amazing. How do you decide who to work with?
That's a great one. Honestly, I think when it comes down to like wanting to work with somebody, it's like, for one, are they excited? Are you excited to make these photos, or do you just need them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you just need, like, okay, obviously sometimes I'm working with brands that are just like, hey, we need these photos by like end of next week. And I'm like, great, this is what we're going to do. I love to shoot this. We're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. I might not love the way we're communicating, but I'm going to be really stoked to be able to work with my friends on this to get this executed for you. So I'm going to take it on because that's a really cool, fun time. And for the most part, I get to hire my friends anyway. So it's like, amazing. Let's do it. And then if like it's a model that's like, oh, hey, I just got started as a model. I don't have a whole lot of money, but I have like this much, and let's make it. Can we do this? I want to do this. And if they send me like a fire mood board with like ideas, and I'm like, you don't even have to just cover the film or whatever. It doesn't matter. Show up with Starbucks. Like, let's make it happen. Because like some things just excite you to make it, and if you're excited for the work, it's gonna come out in the end product.
Nice. So you're open to the ideas of like other people and like working like with what they want to work with, as long as it's like something you also want to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
No, yeah. Like if there's ideas for what they want, and like I know I could make a really cool photo, then I might just take it on. But like, there's people that reach out to me and go, and I've worked with a few of them, a lot, especially like in the influencer space, that are like, oh hey, like I have this many followers, yada yada. We can do this, we can do that. And I'm like, cool. I'll probably work with you just because I know like we can make half decent work and it looks good on socials. But it's not like I'll probably do it once. Like I'll try anything like with somebody once and see who they are, see if I like working with them. But for the most part, in spaces where like, yes, as a photographer, I want to make amazing work. But we're also like in this like weird split mindset of like, I have to still get paid.
Yeah.
I have to still get paid to make this work. I have to pay my own bills. I have to pay for the studio. I have to pay for film. Every shoot that I do costs me anywhere from $100 to $150 to $250. Like these are just like overhead costs. Film. So it's like if I'm excited enough to take on your project for the whatever budget you have or lack of budget, and I know I can make cool work with it, and I know it could possibly bring me work later, then maybe we can make something work. But if you're going, oh hey, you can tell when someone reaches out to you and goes, I'm not coming to you for what you make. I'm just coming for you because I need photos.
I'd be like, okay.
And you could kind of tell.
Like,
you could kind of tell when that happens.
Yeah.
They're not excited about my work. They're just excited that they're going to get photos back.
Yeah.
So, I just kind of pick and choose. And at the end of the day, like, for the most part, if I've already met you before, we're already friends, or at least communicated to an extent, I can figure out if we like something. If you send me a really cool mood board and I have the time for it, let's run it. But like for the most part, I'd feel like you just have to go off of feelings. I go off of feelings a lot. Most of my life is just dictated off of feelings. It's like money's cool, it'll come.
Yep.
But if it feels good, I'm gonna take it.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you to all of our sponsors. And yeah, as you can see, we changed up the format a little bit. We got musical chairs. We've gained a new guest.
That's right.
Please, everyone on the Too Good For You Network, welcome Kara to the building. Kara, thank you for joining us.
I'm glad to be here, even though I'm a little bit late, but thanks for having me, y'all.
Yeah, of course. No worries. So the interview will just come out clean, right? So the interview is supposed to be small iced coffee and Kara. What happened? Did the first half in the beginning, Kara? You want to talk about what happened?
why I was missing?
What happened to the?
No, what happened?
Can I give you like the background of like my yesterday too? Because I feel like it adds on top of that. So like yesterday,
You might have
just going about my day, and it was at work. I parked my car at work, and then I came out, and somebody had hit my front headlight. So on Valentine's Day, the way that like. I walked out of work single already, and then that shit had to happen. There's no way on God's green earth. Like, someone's preying on my downfall. Whoever you are, I know who you are. But,
Sorry.
but whoever you are, like I'm good. Like, I took my L's. Like, I'm good now. Like, I get it. I get the signs the universe is telling me.
Uh-huh.
So then, that happened, and that's a thing on its own. And I was like, nah, like at least like my headlight still works. It's just like the front thing is broken. And then like, I'm like, I'm fine. I'm grateful. I can pay for it. It's nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go to my after work. I go straight to a photo shoot in downtown LA, and then I kid you not, like I come out of that thing and I'm like looking at an empty parking spot. I am like, what? This is a movie. I was like, I parked right next to you, Jasmine, and like, like, where the fuck is my car? And then she was like, are you sure you parked next to me? She looking at me crazy. She was like, are you sure? And I was like, bitch, I'm sure. Like, don't gotta ask me I know where my car is. Like, okay. And then we asked like this, policeman, and he was like, oh, I think that girl in the car is like security for the building. And then we go up to her, and she goes, we were like, do you work here? And she goes, no. And then I go, oh, I'm looking for my car because it got towed. And she goes, oh, I can help you. I work here. Okay.
Oh, she wasn't trying to work.
No, she wasn't really trying to work. And I was like, I get it. Like, do your thing, I guess. But I mean, like, I just want my car. And then I go and I find the number, and then I call it, and it's all the way from downtown LA, went to Southgate. And I was like, okay, like, I mean, honestly, I don't know why I'm so positive right now, but at least it wasn't completely stolen, because, I'm never going to get that shit back. I'm not going to look for it. I'm not going to be out all night trying to look for my car. And then, like, a lot of parts out of, like, a Prius get stolen easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's that?
It's a gray Prius, but there's a million of those in LA.
That's what I'm saying. Looking like every other bitch. There was another one in the parking lot, and I was, like, trying to unlock it. And I was like, that's definitely not me, right? I was like, it's definitely not me, right? And so then I was just happy that I knew where it was and I could go get it right away, because the person I shot with, she's my neighbor, like I know her, and she was like, of course I'll take you to my car to go get your car. But fuck, when I've never had my car towed, to feel like it's been there for, I kid you not, like an hour max. They had my car locked down for an hour, and it was a whopping $312. I was like, damn. I wasn't even gonna argue. Sorry.
Did they give you a reason why they towed it?
No, but honestly, I literally I walked out with this L. I was like, yeah, maybe I deserved it. Like, maybe I just talked so much shit that, like, honestly, it was karma. I feel like maybe I did.
You probably deserved it.
Maybe
I love you,
something and I needed that. Like, I deserved it.
Honestly,
so I mean, like,
she's been mean to me for the last like 2 weeks. So like, I think that's just karmic intervention of life.
I was a little mean to you. I was a little mean, but it's that time of month. Like, let me live.
She thinks this is an excuse for everything. She has an excuse for. What was your excuse before that?
I was hungry.
No, really. He knows. He looks me in the eye. He goes, "Are you hungry?"
No, literally, like, she acts like I don't know her. There's literally times where she's like, I don't feel like doing that. And I'm like, okay, where do you want to eat? Panera, Chipotle, where are we going?
And then I start naming it.
And then
like,
she's like, well, I'm not really hungry, but we could go here. And I'm like, okay, let's go.
That's what I said.
You just be knowing.
Did you ever got your car towed?
Have I ever got it towed?
Yeah.
No. Never got it towed.
Don't ever do
Stolen?
Yeah.
No, never got stolen.
You ever hear anything?
No, but like my transmission blew out like a couple months ago.
It did. That took it out.
That was
of
the
you.
worst. I was going through it.
Yeah.
I was out. Bro, I was out.
He was out.
Because like my car is my means of independence. Like I'm everywhere in that thing. Especially because like as a photographer, as a person living in LA, like especially like we hang out. It's like I'm always the person to drive. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go pick y'all up. We're gonna go here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. In a split second, gone. And I'm like, fuck, I don't got a car.
Damn.
You and I are so mobile. Like
I am
I work in
mobile.
Orange County too.
Yeah.
I live in
Oh,
Long
wow.
Beach. I
Like,
work in
we
and then
mob.
photo shoots in LA. Yeah,
Like,
so
we
like
mob.
that's
The way
we be mobbing.
We be
Yeah.
mobbing. So it's like, I didn't have a car for a week. I was like, who am I? Like,
Yeah.
like I was questioning
I don't even know
my,
how-
my
what
entire
I would do.
existence.
Bro, it's tough. Same. I've been having mad car problems for the last couple months. Hopefully, by that's all. Everyone, too good for you. Shout outs to y'all. I'm getting a new car this weekend. Hopefully, so all your support is getting.
Subscribe to the
Shout out to
Patreon.
y'all, for
Yeah.
But no, yes, yeah. So I need to get a new car this weekend, right? Because my car's been a piece of shit. I hate it. Whatever. I got my car towed once, right?
Oh,
It was
yeah?
from-
Set the
Yeah.
scene.
It was from my apartment complex.
Your
when
own.
I
It'd
was
be your
living.
own apartment.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened, right? Normal. I was living there for maybe like 9 months or whatever, right? Parking in the same spot. It's a numbered spot, so like it's part of the apartment. Parked there, like nothing different, right? Boom, whatever. Go in the house, chilling, talking to my roommate, having a good night. Everything is good. It's the weekday, so I gotta wake up and go to work the next day. So I'm like, cool, whatever. Wake up, walk into the parking lot, look out. I'm like, where am I? Like, did I
fuck's
come
my
out of a
car?
different entrance? Like, where the fuck am I? Because like, my car is
Yeah,
not where
yeah.
it should be.
Like it literally just disappears. Like
And I was like, did my car get fucking stolen? I was like, what the hell happened
Yeah.
to my car? And yeah, so that was crazy. So I was like, what the fuck? So then I just called the police department and I was like, yo, I can't find my car. I parked it in my apartment and it's not here. And so they're like, hey, what's your license plate? And then I gave it to them and then they're like, oh yeah, I got towed. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, wow.
So then called the towing company, went over, got my car, and then yeah, I asked them, I was like, so like why did my car get towed? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Someone said that was their parking spot, so we towed the car. And so I was like,
I would've been like,
that mad.
I need more proof.
No, literally.
me and my roommate, we went to the went to the leasing center. We were like, yo, my car just got towed. Again, it was probably there for a couple hours. $300 or so down the drain. And I was like,
Yeah.
yo, car just got towed. What like parking numbers do we have on our
Right,
lease?
let's get
Like,
this shit
and
straight.
they were like, oh, these numbers. And we're like, so why did someone? Because in the apartment complex we were at, like you had to show proof of like either like your apartment number or your parking like space for them to like tow. You can't just be calling like random tow trucks to tow random cars. Like you have to show proof that like this was your parking spot, whatever. So they're like, okay, let us look. So they all look on the computer like, oh, we accidentally told someone who just moved in that was their parking spot too. Da 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 da. So
I would
like
have
Someone who
blown
just
up, bro.
moved in
been
thought that
hot.
was their
I
parking
would've
spot.
blown up.
And
they messed up on the computer, so they gave someone who just moved in that same number
oh, I
without
see.
checking to see that it was already taken by someone.
Oh, wow.
So then they're like,
I've-
da, da, da. So then I made them pay for my.
yeah, I
get
was
my-
gonna say like
So,
that.
yeah, they paid for my car getting towed, and then they fixed it. But yeah, I was like, that was crazy. I came out, and I was like, yo, my car is not here.
You need
It's
to.
just literally not there. It feels so weird
so
to just
weird.
look and you're like, I swear I put it
Yeah.
there. Like I put it there.
That's
It's
exactly
like
what
I
it
got
felt
out, I left it right there. I know where I left it.
locked it.
Like it's big as hell. I'm not gonna miss it.
You're like,
Like,
who can move it?
Dude, that's my biggest fear. Coming out from like the store or like amusement park, whatever. I'm like, where the fuck's my car at?
Like,
Dude,
I was.
Well, I don't
so-
even know what I would do.
It's one of those things. Like, I felt like I was in like an alternate reality. I was like, bro, did I park it in someplace else? Did I come out of a different exit? Like, why? I do the same route every day. Like, why
Yeah.
is my one thing that I need not here?
Damn. You should start parking in her spot or their
I
spot.
don't know. I moved, so I don't live there.
Oh.
we'll just go back for one time.
Just trying to get
Better
that
be
towed.
like, who is in that spot?
Yeah.
It's my spot.
Bro,
Research
have you
purposes.
ever watched someone get towed and then they come back to the spot and it's gone?
No. Dude, that'd be funny. I'm not gonna. I feel like I would laugh. Not
okay.
gonna lie.
I have watched it happen multiple times now.
Dang.
Okay, cool. Because this is what happens. Her same situation. There's where she shot at. There down the street from there. There's another studio building. Same setup. Like there's studios for rent. People rent them out. There's a parking lot right next to it, and there's always people walking up, like the tow truck drivers, and they double check if you paid for parking. And if you didn't pay for parking, you're gone.
Yeah.
Like, and it said the sign is right there. If you don't pay for parking, it's private property. We're gonna tell you, bro. I had like an hour in between shoots one day, and I was like, I'm not gonna go anywhere. For one, I'm not gonna leave my parking spot because I already paid $20 to park here.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna stay here, and I'm gonna sit in my car and wait for my next shoot to get here. And in a span of an hour, I watched 2 people get towed in the same parking spot.
In the same spot.
In the
too.
same spot.
You
The
saw the
luck of
people
that
come
spot.
back too, and like, where the hell's my car?
I saw the first one come back.
Oh,
Oh my
dude.
God.
So,
Did you see that?
like, one person came and they parked, they left, and then like 5 minutes later, tow truck comes in.
Just 5 minutes later.
Bro, no, they're quick.
They're watching
They
for
swooped
sure.
on him.
On speed dial.
Swooped on him, got him. No, because like in the building, the security of the building watches people come in and out.
Okay.
And so he'll like if he sees somebody leave, he'll go in. Obviously, there was a empty spot. Now there isn't. Let me go check what car it is. Oh, they didn't pay. Cool. Because that's their building. They have they make
Gotcha.
money off the parking. So if
Yeah,
there's
they
a
make
car there,
money.
they're taking the money that they could be making. So minutes later, old boy pulls in, pulls him out.
Oh boy.
And then
Damn.
like quick with it too, bro. He pulled in, backed up, hitched them, was out in like a minute.
That's
I was
fast.
You
Like,
got
bro,
that repo man. tow
like
truck
they are
skill,
they
right?
are
No,
in
that-
there.
that's
And in
fast.
downtown LA where these like these parking blocks are not big.
Oh, yeah, they
so
have
like
skill.
he's
Well, to
been
get
there.
that, yeah.
He was there quick.
Professional tow truck drivers.
They're legit.
And they leave, he's gone, and then somebody else parks there a couple minutes later, and this girl walks up and she's like, fuck, where's my car? And then she runs inside and she's like, where's my car? The security guy's like, oh yeah, it was towed.
He's
my
so real for that.
God.
And
He's
she
so
was
real
like,
though.
where? And he was like, there's a sign over there, go call them. And he goes back inside. He's like, I don't care, bro. Like,
Damn.
I'm not getting paid to talk to you. Like,
We're like, good for him.
honestly,
do your job.
good
Do your
for him.
job. You know
He
what I
said,
mean?
Like, we'd be out here begging motherfuckers to do their job, and as soon as
Yeah.
they do them, we get
And
mad.
No, right.
He was just doing his job. So,
Facts.
Let
so
him
he-
live. Let him live.
so he goes back inside, but then the next people pull up, and it's these 2 guys. They look at the thing. They look at the sign, like it says, pay to park over here, yada, yada. And they're like, they dub it. They just walk. I see them leave and walk down the street. 5 minutes later again.
The same,
Another car?
imagine it's the
Another
same
car.
repo truck.
Another car. It was
Yo,
another,
they are
same
just
company,
like
different guy.
car after car.
But like, bro,
I
in the
love
span
it.
of like
I
20
love
minutes,
it.
watch 2 people get towed, and like these motherfuckers just like they wait, like they're
Yeah.
parked down the street.
It's kind
Yeah.
of like a game, though. I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah.
I'm sure at this
For
point it's just a
them,
game. It's like
you know, they're like,
and like
These
got
guys are
another
stalking.
one.
These guys are stalking the
no,
parking
literally,
lot.
and
Yeah.
the building that you got towed at today, I watched someone get towed from there on Sunday.
Damn. It really, really
I was leaving and somebody was getting towed. Like the tow truck was leaving the building, and my model was like, "Oh, I almost didn't pay for parking," and I was like,
You tell all your
I
clients
literally
now,
always
like,
pay for parking
pay.
in LA. There's no way.
No,
Wait, so
I
you pay for parking? You paid for parking this time?
Yeah.
Oh, I would go back to the fucking tow
No,
people.
I'm non-confrontational.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
no,
then.
she'll take the L.
I'll take that.
Oh,
Like,
never
if-
mind then.
Maybe I deserved it.
Had it been a different situation, maybe a different day.
Different day when
Maybe
I,
if she wasn't by herself, probably.
no,
would've-
yeah, I was like in a dress. But it was just me and my girl. Like, bad scene.
Bad scene.
To be arguing at night.
Yeah.
I'll argue.
No,
I
yeah,
like
yeah,
Yeah.
Like I'll argue anything.
Set the scene and it's like good to argue.
No. Like give me a good reason. Like if I have 50-50
Just
chance
us,
I might
just
win.
us going.
Run it.
Just
I don't
us
even
at
need a good.
Cheesecake Factory.
I don't even need a good chance to win. Like me and her argue over nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still argue about how she dipped on me for 8 months, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah, that's literally for later. That's for later. Put that back in the pocket,
that
y'all.
For part 2.
Yeah,
Put
that's a
it-
part 2.
Put it in the back pocket.
Put it in the back pocket.
You could label that one
Add it to the
8
topics.
months.
Add it to the
like-
topics.
Add it to the topics. Why Kara dipped on me for 8 months.
And it's
add-
crazy because it's not a valid reason. I'll be
It's
so
not,
honest.
but it's
Like,
okay. We'll add it in the notes.
It was a
Stockholm
life lesson.
syndrome.
Gotcha.
It was a life lesson.
Life
like,
lesson.
it's-
Listen, they're tough.
We're growing.
Life lessons have to happen, and she.
Why
she
you gotta
did-
live in the past right now? Like,
Yesterday was Valentine's Day. You know, we're feeling out our exes. Shit happens.
Facts.
tough. Tough.
It's a cold world we live
Stay
in.
safe out there, y'all. Know.
Stay safe out there.
Damn, there it is.
It is what it is. Life happens.
But
Yeah.
cool. So I guess I wanted to ask, now that you're here and we have a little bit of time left, so we get to interview you as well.
I'm
For the
sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
You also do photography as well here and
I
there?
do. Digital and film.
Okay.
I did digital for so long. Just portraits. I'm really into portraits. You know, like it was always like family shoots, grad photos, and then now more like creative photo shoots. And then out of nowhere, I had like a big block of like, I just really wasn't taking photos. And then I was like, I don't know if I'm not into it. Like my camera's collecting dust at this point. And it's been like I've been taking photos since I was like all through high school up until now, and I'm 25 now. And shortly after I had met Adrian, did you tell him how we met?
No.
Oh, that's a good story. Okay, pause.
Okay, so we're gonna circle back to this.
So like during
So
my little gap when I met him. No, we'll go back to
like
it.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 4 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago.
And it's also like just like, what are the odds kind of story.
No, it was very strange. Like,
Yeah.
not strange, but like,
You'd be like, I could never guess that.
like the weirdest things. Like, it wasn't even like, to me, it was just like the end result. Cause like I found her ultimately we met on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately.
But the backstory to like even how we found each other on Twitter with like 0 mutuals, that's crazy.
So you gotta tell them the first half. 'Cause that's
Okay,
what
but so then I wasn't taking photos, and then shortly after being friends with Adrian, he was like, "Why don't you just go get a film camera?" And I was like, I'm not ready for that. Like, it seems so like intimidating, like scary, and I'm like, the film game is crazy. Like, little old me, like I'm not that good. Like, I'm all like shy about my photos, and then I literally just ordered one online, and I was like, it's literally my favorite thing, and I really love doing black and white photos on film. I think it's so good. Yeah, I love it a lot.
Awesome.
I enjoy it. I feel like I can express myself creatively a lot more, just because of like how real like the time and the moment is that you capture without like just like, I don't know, comparing it to digital. You can manipulate so much more with digital, but then like seeing it come out in film, and a lot of times I've had like accidental light leaks, but it came out so good. Like the one I did of Quinn looking out the window, my friend Quinn, and I accidentally like opened up my camera too early, and then when I got the photo back, it was like someone looking out of a window, and then it cut right under her eyes so perfectly, and it gave that photo so much more of like a certain kind of feel of like mysterious, like what is she looking at, like what does the rest of her look like, and it happened so naturally just because like I accidentally opened the camera, like I don't know how to explain it. But it's like shit like that, like I really love.
No, that's cool. It's a great time. I like watching her make work.
That's
cool.
It's a cool little time. She does her thing with it, especially with like black and white. Yeah, when she started, I like, because I've been shooting film for like, I got my first film camera like 6 years ago, so I've been shooting it for quite some time now. And I know the ins and outs of it, so like it's just kind of the thing. It's very second nature photo wise. Like I don't really need a light meter. I can just kind of guess. It's cool. I already kind of know it. But like when I make photos, I kind of know what to expect. So when I just like to watch her make photos, because then she'll make work and be so excited about it, like it's her first time making it.
My
So
like
it's
process is a lot. I think every photographer or creative in general has like a different process.
Yeah.
Because someone's like, what do you go into? Like, what do you think about before you go into a photo shoot? Bro, I'm telling you right now, I don't think. There's no fucking thought. Look at me in the eye. Like, there's no thoughts up here. I just do it. I can't like explain what I'm trying to do. I'll just like be like, I'm trying to do, like move things around and like place the person basically, and then I'm like, I swear the vision's up here. Like just at the photo shoot earlier today, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stand on the box and then move the light, and then you stand like this, and she goes, huh? And I was like, the vision's up here, girl. Like I swear. And then she looks at it and she's like, oh, like I can't explain it. But
you remind me of like how painters make work.
it just comes out.
It's just like they just like show up and they just go this, and they just like do things. And at the end of it, you're like, oh, that's really nice. You have no idea, like their process just like doesn't make sense at first, but you're like, okay, but obviously you trust their process because it's theirs. So they're just making it, and as you see it come together, you're like, oh, that's actually really. And now everything feels way more intentional, even though it wasn't really meant to be. And it's just like it's her process. It's a cool little time.
That's pretty crazy. You guys like kind of have like opposite processes, right? Like,
I think so.
And we also shoot very different things, like still portraits, but like very different.
We even where shoots where we go together, we leave with extremely different photos.
We could literally have the same model, and then the outcome is totally different.
And half the time, I like her photos way more. Like if we shoot the same model, I've seen so many photos where like we've shot the same model. I'm like, oh, I couldn't even get that. Like I don't know how you pulled that off.
No way.
She's really good at what she does. She just doesn't.
If anyone asks, like I learned everything from film from Adrian. Like people will like DM me, be like, what camera should I get? Like what film do you? Bro, I don't know. Like
she just sent her profile.
I'm like, stop asking me. Like I promise you, just Google a fun looking camera and go get it. Like I don't know what to tell you in the nicest way possible, but I'm like, I literally just do, like I watch and then I do in my version, I guess.
I think everyone has their own way of processing art, right, in their own way, and everyone's gonna come out with it. But like we were saying, like you have your process. As long as you trust yourself with what you're doing, you know what your end result is going to look like. If people can always look at you and look at the way you're doing something and be like, well, how come yours is this way, but like I do it this way? But like, if they get a result that they're happy with, I mean, that's
all
all
subjective.
At the end of the day, that's all.
There is no finite answer to make art. You just make what you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wisdom tip number something. Man,
Did he have a lot?
Oh, so many.
Eman's been keeping
I have been mesmerized
So
by
real.
his thoughts.
I already know.
I don't know. I feel like I just romanticize because I was just saying I like the process.
Yeah.
So I've come to romanticize every portion of the process.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Like I could be extremely tired at 2-3 in the morning editing sessions, but I'm excited that like 16-year-old me is stoked that we get to do that.
Mm-hmm.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
So it's like, sure, I'm tired, but like this is what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have like a moment in time when you're like younger, when you're like, oh, I want to be a photographer?
Absolutely.
When was yours?
I've carried a camera since I was 13. So like I remember being on like my dad would be in town and he'd be like, oh, we're gonna go to like Houston for this like work event, and I would just like take my little camera, little red camera, and just like take photos. And I'm still the same person. I still carry around my little point and shoot. We'll be at dinner and I'm like, hey, can you just pose real quick? And I'll take photos. So I'm the exact same person. I've just now evolved into doing it and being able to do it to like get paid and be a little more professional about it. But it's like I've been the same creative since I was 13. I just want to take photos and make stuff that I can look at later. So yeah, it's a fun little time growing as a creative.
I love asking people like in different fields. I'm like, when did you wake up and you're like, I want to be a nurse, or like I want to be.
Figure that out.
But like, did you ever have a moment now where you're like, oh, cool, this is what I wanted, like in like just making creative work, where you're like, oh wow, this is like sometimes you have to stop and reflect and go, okay, cool, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, like, have you had those moments?
Oh yeah, actually recently a little bit. But like my first moment where I was like, I want to be a photographer when I grow up was set the scene, 3rd grade. 3rd grade.
Early.
I kid you not, because
early.
No, early. I would say that all the time. Everyone's asking you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Da, 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 da. Like a dancer, because I was like taking dance classes. Like, what do you want to do? And I would be a photographer. And I had my little point and shoot. Right. I had the little purple one. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you know. It's probably just like a variation of yours.
Yeah, I had like little Canon one.
A little tiny one. And then I first saw like any kind of like media in that way because of my uncle. He still works for the NBA doing media, and he was like, at the time, like earlier, he was doing photography for like the Lakers and like all these things. And now like he would show me his cameras, and I was like,
Oh no, go ahead, keep going. Sorry.
No, so he was doing photography for like the Lakers. He's like, look at this like commercial I did and like all these things, and I was like, that looks so cool, like, oh my god. And then literally from then on, from 3rd grade, I was like, that'd be cool. But I knew at some point that I didn't want it to be my full-time career, because that takes so much of the fun out of it and wanting to do it when it's like a chore, or like you're like, I have to do it because I have to pay for this, or like something like that,
Yeah, it becomes
so there's that
like,
thing.
At the end of the day, for a lot of people, just work. So you don't want to make it work.
Yeah, I don't want to lose that like excitement that I get over like, oh my god, I'm ready to do a shoot, like I'm off of my
you have
actual
such excitement
work,
about it.
even though like I love my actual work, and I get excited to do that. Oh, but the times about getting excited nowadays, yes. Like I think earlier in college, I was very, very shy about being a creative. I don't think I ever would say I was a photographer. Like if other people wanted to be like, oh yeah, she does photography, like I would let them say it, but then I was like never like being like confident about being that like creative
Didn't
person.
want to take the title for it.
Right. And I was like, nah, like I'm not good, da da da. And then I feel like the friend group I had, what was it? Just like, no, it wasn't even it was a lack of friends. It was like I would always see like older people and other people get invited to like art shows and like creative fun stuff in LA. And I was like, man, like I want like my own friend group like that, and being able to do all that cool shit you see online. And now I am doing all the cool shit I see online. So it's kind of crazy, because I'm like, damn, like I'm really, having fun doing what I do. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
No, it's a great time.
And now I have my own creative friend circle, so it's pretty wild to to
There
see.
you go.
I'm like, I'm grateful for all of you. Love you all. Kisses.
Yes, beautiful. Well, shit, guys. Unfortunately, if you're watching the video, our camera has died.
Oh no.
So
Now you're just looking at the thumbnail.
yes. So now you're just
We're, like,
watching a blank
Frozen on the
screen.
last.
But if you're listening, thank you for tuning in. We definitely will need to schedule a part 2
Definitely,
with
yes.
Small Ice Coffee and
We have so much more to
Kara
talk
here,
about.
'cause, yeah, there definitely is a lot to continue going off of. But you know, I don't want to leave you guys with a blank screen for too long. So we'll just do this real quick. Small Ice Coffee. Let you do a little ending note. If you want to plug anything or shout anyone out, shout yourself out, do whatever you want. This is your time to just talk.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Yeah. So I don't really have much to say, but just like if you're a photographer and you're thinking about making work, just make the photos you want to make, be happy, live your life, be a good person. That's the most important part about being a photographer, is just being a good person. And yeah, just make the photos. And if you're thinking about going and aspiring to do stuff, try it out. Be cool. Do what you gotta do. Just don't give up. Don't half-ass your dreams. And live your life.
That was
Chills.
so good.
Chills.
How do I follow up that?
And any socials, websites, or anything you want.
Small Iced Coffee, all one word on anything you're on.
Clean.
Give it to your mother.
It's the easiest thing. Small
Clean.
iced coffee.
Yes, and again, sorry, Kara, we weren't able to do more
No
talk. We will
worries.
definitely
I talk
schedule
too much.
the part 2.
There'll be a part 2 for sure.
with more information. But since you're here, we'll still let you go ahead and do your plug, shout outs, and all the above.
Yeah, sure. So, so if we're gonna say a little thing, since Adrian wanted to say a little thing, definitely do what you love what you're doing, try new things, experiment, go out and do whatever it is you want to do. Don't be the person that says, I want to do this, I want to be like this, and like day after day you want to, just go do it, like basically kind of like what Adrian says, and that's just why we kind of have the same values and get along. But you guys can follow me on Instagram. I'm Kara Reese. And then on TikTok, it's just Kara Reese. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you guys both for
Thank you guys.
coming by and talking to us. Definitely had a lot of fun hearing all beautiful stories and
Thanks for listening.
everything.
Oh, we could talk.
We could
we'll be
talk.
back, 'cause,
That's
like, we
the
got-
issue.
We could talk some more whenever y'all want.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next time we'll let them run the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll be the guest.
You guys can just have
Honestly,
the
we
two
could just
mics.
ask each other questions for like 2 hours.
For like 2 hours straight and go back and forth, and then we end in an argument.
Beautiful.
Seriously, and then-
So
That sounds like
so
a podcast
real.
right there.
That's who we are.
So real.
Yeah. At the end of it, we'll just argue and we'll go to cheesecake after, call it a night.
That's what I'm
There it
saying.
is.
Give little ice creams.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
nothing crazy.
Cool. Well, E-Man, go ahead. You sign off as well, brother.
Well, thank you guys again for coming on the show. I know Carrie came a little late, but that's okay because shit happens, and I'm sorry that happened to you. But thank you guys. I definitely would love you guys to come on again for part 2 because it seems like there's so many stories that still need to be told. But other than that, hit me up on Instagram at EmmanuelSnap. Everything else I don't want you to find. And Tyson?
Yeah, thank you guys again for coming by. Too Good For You podcast, a podcast that's too good, made just right for you. Make sure you guys follow us on all of our socials at Too Good For You Pod. That's the number 2, GOOD, the number 4, and the letter U, Pod. And yeah, you know what it is. Go Spotify, iTunes, whatever, Instagram, all the
Everything.
TikTok, everything is there, dude. You already know how to work a link in a bio, so just go there and do that. And yeah, patreon.com/toogoodforyoupod, $5 a month supports the show, and that would be sick if you guys did that. If you didn't, I'll find you. But yeah, and then you guys can follow me on all my socials at DJXFaro. But yeah, Small Ice Coffee. I'm Kara Reese. Thank you so much for joining us. We will catch you guys next time.